So for those of you who are in the financial markets and even know a little bit about the stock market and the economy, knows that something weird has been happening. On one side, when you look at the stock market, you think so that this is the most productive stock market ever. Over the last 2 months, it is up by over 36%. However, when you look at the economy, how much businesses are actually producing, the stock market is down. In the first quarter of 2020, the economy has shrunk by over 4.8%. And in the second quarter, it's predicted to shrink by a further 30%. So it's a really weird times that we are in the stock market. The value of the people's businesses are up massively, but those businesses are producing really less. And not just a little less, a very whole less compared to the previous years. Now what we are going to discuss is in this video is why is this contradictory behavior happening? Why is this contradiction happening? So let's start. You see how we measure the economy. We measure the economy through a figure called GDP, which is known as the gross domestic product. So GDP is the total value of everything produced within a country's border over a specific period of time. So whatever a country produces, the goods and services in a year is known as the GDP. So GDP tracks the health of a country's economy. So until 2019, the GDP was growing at a really steady rate. The economy was doing what it was supposed to do, and that was of course producing more and more every single year. But until 2020 comes along and something that no one could have ever predicted occurred. An illness swept throughout the whole world, causing the governments to take extreme actions. Citizens were forced to stay at home, and businesses had to forcefully shut down. So basically the economy halted in its tracks. This is extremely disastrous. Now because most people are not buying and businesses are shut down, we cannot go outside, so not a lot of products are getting produced. So the GDP went down dramatically low. So as I mentioned earlier, it was down over 4.8% in the first quarter of 2020 for USA. Now this number is expected to be over minus 30% in the second quarter of this year. But obviously it's not just the USA that has been affected, it's the whole world. The reason that we always use the USA as the benchmark is because it's the biggest economy. The virus has swept throughout the 180 plus countries. So you can see that USA is the biggest economy compared to everyone else. And the 2020 figures for the US economy is not looking nice. And we can say that for sure. But as I said before, it's not the USA that has been affected. China, the second largest economy in the world, has obviously been affected as well by the virus. They had seen a massive drop in terms of the economy. And it's the same with all the other countries like Germany, Italy, UK, Turkey, India and Pakistan. The virus has impacted all of these countries. But again, let's bring our focus back to the United States of America. The USA economy is down, and we also need to mention that employment is also down. People have lost a lot of jobs due to this poor economy and this disastrous virus. Over 42 million plus people have lost their jobs as of making this video, just only in United States. And you can see that the unemployment claims were normal at the start of the year. But at the end of the March, April, we see a huge spike, and it was almost 7 million people losing their jobs in 1 week. So as of now, over 42 million people have lost their jobs. Unemployment is now sitting at almost 14.7%, which is up from just 3.5% at the start of this year. So I think so it's fair to say that the economy that we are in at the moment is battling. But now we need to move on to the second part, which is the stock market. The stock market after its initial dip is now up over 36%. The S&P 500 has climbed almost 888 points, starting to come close to the all-time highs at almost 3124 points. The Dow Jones also has a similar story. It's also up almost 7,089 points with a total value of 26,289 points. So this pretty much concludes our topic for the video, as we are in a really tough times and we are all battling against this disease. So I really wish all of us, our friends, our family, can easily pass this time, as this is one of the crucial times we are in the history of mankind. With that being said, stay safe and stay at your home and take the precautionary measures, as the virus is not going anywhere soon. It's going to stay with us. We don't know for how many years, maybe for the rest of the life, but still it's going to stay with us for the next couple of years. So we need to make sure that we are following all the rules and we are following all the precautionary measures.